أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين By the blessing of Allah the Almighty, we started the translation of the Holy Quran in Pashto, and we uploaded some videos of the Holy Quran in Pashto. Then some of our friends in foreign countries, they told us to start the translation of the Holy Quran in English and Urdu. So we also started Urdu translation, and we are regularly uploading Urdu translation. Now, by the blessing of Allah the Almighty, we are going to start English translation. Before starting the translation, we have to know the science of Tafseer, exegesis. Tafseer is an Arabic word which means to open or to explain. Technically, the science of Tafseer is a branch of knowledge meant to interpret and explain the verses of the Holy Quran. It has been the consistent practice of Allah the Almighty that He did never send a divine book without a prophet, whose basic objective was to explain the content of the book and to teach the people how they should mold their lives according to the guidance provided by that divine book. The Holy Prophet ﷺ, the Holy Quran itself makes it clear that the major function entrusted to the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Muhammad ﷺ, was to teach the book and to explain to the people what is revealed to him. Accordingly, the Holy Prophet ﷺ had not only conveyed the words of the Holy Quran accurately, but has also explained to the noble Sahaba how to recite it and how to understand its correct meaning. It is the basis of the explanation given by the Holy Prophet ﷺ and his blessed Sahaba, who learned the Holy Quran directly from the Holy Prophet ﷺ, that the Muslim scholars have developed the science of Tafseer as a branch of knowledge which not only explains the meaning of the holy text but also lays down the principle of its interpretation so that its true import is fully preserved and protected against all sorts of distortion. The science of Tafseer has its own fascinating history which cannot be described in this short introduction. Nevertheless, it will be pertinent here to summarize the basic source on which the science has placed its reliance while interpreting the Holy Quran. The sources of Tafseer are the sources of exegesis. First source of exegesis and Tafseer is the Holy Quran itself. إِنَّ الْقُرْآنَ يُفَسِّرُ بَعْضَهُ بَعْضًا. Allah the Almighty says, the first source of Tafseer is the Holy Quran itself, because one verse of the Holy Quran is very often explained by another verse. For example, there is a prayer in the very first surah of the Holy Quran. Allah the Almighty says, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. Take us on the straight path, the path of those on whom you have bestowed your grace. This verse refers to those who are blessed with Allah's grace, but it does not identify them in detail. However, there is another verse that identifies different categories of those people in clear terms. It says, وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِم مِّنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ. Those who obey Allah the Almighty and the Messenger are with those whom Allah the Almighty blessed, namely the prophets, Siddiqeen, the Shuhada, and the righteous people. In this way, the later verse has explained the former one. Since there are numerous such examples in the Holy Quran, the scholar of Tafseer placed their foremost reliance on the source of exegesis. The second source of Tafseers is a hadith of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Hadith is an Arabic word which is defined as the words spoken or the act done or omitted by the Holy Prophet ﷺ, since the major function entrusted to the Holy Prophet ﷺ was to interpret and teach the meaning of the Holy Quran. As explained earlier, it goes without saying that his explanation are the most reliable source of interpretation of the Holy Quran. These explanations were at times given verbally and at other times by his acts and practice. It will be wrong to presume that all the explanations given by the Holy Prophet ﷺ were based only on his personal opinion or understanding. In fact, the divine revelation received by him was of two kinds. One in the form of the text of the Holy Quran, and the other in the form of non-textual revelation that he at times received from an angel sent by Allah the Almighty, and at other time through the ideas put into his blessed heart directly from Allah the Almighty. This is because while revealing the Holy Quran to him, Allah the Almighty himself gave him a promise in the following word. Allah the Almighty says, ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا بَيَانًا. Then after getting the Holy Quran recited to you, it is undertaken by us to explain. It is evident from the verse that Allah the Almighty himself has explained the Holy Quran to the Holy Prophet ﷺ through some non-textual revelation. It is therefore of utmost importance for correct understanding of the Holy Quran to know how the Holy Prophet ﷺ has expounded its precepts and how he put them into practice. So the third source of tafsir is the explanation of Sahaba of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. This is the third source of tafsir. The statement of the blessed Sahaba of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, since they had their education directly from him and had the first-hand knowledge of all the circumstances behind the revelation of the particular verse of the Holy Quran, they are naturally the most authentic source of knowledge of tafsir after the Holy Prophet ﷺ himself. If there is a consensus of Sahaba on the interpretation of a verse, the authentic exegetes just follow that and discard any other interpretation offered by someone else. However, if their interpretation are divergent, the Mufassir prefer one of them according to the principle laid down in relevant science of Usuli Tafsir. The fourth source of the tafsir is explanation of tabi'een. Tabi'een are the people, the students of Sahaba. Since they learned the Holy Quran from the Sahaba of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the importance of their explanatory statement can never be ignored. Hence, the Mufassirin have taken them as the fourth source of tafsir. Their explanation are sometimes based on what they learned from Sahaba, but at other times they reflect their own opinion. Therefore, many authentic Mufassirin do not take their statement as decisive as those of Sahaba. The fact, however, is that these statements are of great value while determining the correct meaning of a verse of the Holy Quran. The fifth source of tafsir is the Arabic language. Since the Holy Quran was revealed in Arabic, a complete command over this language is necessary for anyone who intends to interpret it, particularly in the case of verse in which an explanation is not reported from a forementioned source. We have no other means to interpret it except the language itself. Moreover, where two different interpretations are reported, the one more conforming to the Arabic grammar and usage is normally preferred. Now, before starting the tafsir, we have to put some words and some points in our before us. Before starting the tafsir, the Holy Quran, we should understand that the Holy Quran is the divine book of guidance that was revealed to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Instead of sending it down in a single transaction, Allah the Almighty has revealed it in part. Allah the Almighty in in parts during the period of last 23 years of the life of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. As the last messenger of Allah the Almighty on this earth, the Holy Prophet ﷺ had to pass through different phases during his struggle for propagation of Islam and needed to receive divine instruction on which new situation arising in the course of his struggle. At times, therefore, he received detailed discourses, and at other only one verse or a part of it, according to the requirement of each respective situation. Second, that is the reason why the Holy Quran is not in the form of normal books. They deal with every aspect of subject at one place, then move on to other subjects, or in which every subject is discussed in a different chapter. The Holy Quran is rather a package of divine verse, each one having an independent point of guidance, which sometimes appear to be disjointed with the foregoing or forthcoming points, though having a subtle linkage if considered in depth. Similarly, different aspects of one subject are often found in different chapters, because every aspect was revealed whenever it was needed in the relevant circumstances. So, after keeping some points in our mind, now we are going to start Surah FATIHA. Surah FATIHA is the first chapter of the Holy Quran. So, this surah has some names which has been mentioned in the hadith of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. The first name of this surah is the opening. opening. So it is the first chapter of the Holy Quran. So that's why its name is the opening and Fatiha. The second name of this surah is Surah Shifa. Surah Shifa. And the third name is Surah Wafiya and Surah Shafiya. Kanzul Quran, the treasure of the Holy Quran, and Kanzul Quran, and Asasul Quran, and Ummul Quran, and Sab al Masani. So there are many names of this surah, and this is a very blessed surah of the Holy Quran. That is why we regularly offer this surah in every prayer when we offer the prayer. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Bismillah, in the name of Allah the Almighty. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahman, the most gracious, the most merciful. Ar-Rahim, the most merciful. We started the Holy Quran with the name of Allah the Almighty. Allah the Almighty is the most gracious. Allah the Almighty bless everyone and everything, whether he is a believer or disbeliever, but Allah the Almighty bless him with his mercy. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, but Allah the Almighty's full concentration and full mercy will be on the day of judgment, just only on the Muslims, just only on the Muslim. Ar-Rahman, with the name of Allah the Almighty, with the name Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah, all glory be to Allah, all thanks be to Allah. Hamad means glory, thanks, praises. Alhamdu, all glory be to Allah. Lillahi be to Allah, all praises be to Allah, all thanks be to Allah. Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of Alameen. The Lord of Alameen. What is Alameen? And the Alameen, all the things, all the existing things that we see in these are Alameen. Like we see the sky and the moon, the stars, the human beings, the jinns, and everything that exists in this world, it is Alameen, a symbol that there is only one Allah the Almighty, and no one is able to be worshipped. Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of Alameen. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahman is the most merciful, the most gracious. Ar-Rahim, the most merciful. Ar-Rahman, praise belong to Allah, the Lord of all the world. Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of all the world. The all merciful, the very merciful, the very merciful. Maliki Yawmiddin, the master of the day of judgment. Malik mean the owner, the master. Yawm mean day. Ad-Din mean the day of judgment, the day of requital, and the day of recompense, the last day of the world, the master of the day of judgment. Maliki Yawmiddin, the master of the day of judgment. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, you alone we worship. Iyaka na'budu, you alone we worship. Wa iyaka nasta'in, and you alone we ask for help. The Muslim should not ask from the other people. Ihdina as-sirat wal-mustaqim, guide us on the right way, guide us on the straight way. The straight way, which is the straight way? The way of the Sahaba, the way of Siddiqeen, as already have mentioned, the way of Salihin, and the way of Muttaqeen. Ihdina as-sirat wal-mustaqim, guide us on the right way. Guide us on the right way, put us on the right way, the path of those on whom you have bestowed your grace, not of those who have anchored your wrath. غير المغضوب عليهم, not of those who have anchored your rhythm, ولا الضالين, nor of those who have gone astray. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, all the praises and the thanks be to Allah the Almighty, the Lord of Alameen, mankind, jinn and all that exists, the most gracious, the most merciful, the only owner and the only ruling judge of the day of recompense, the day of resurrection, the day of resurrection. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help for each and everything. Guide us to the straight way, the way of those on whom you have bestowed your grace, not the way of those who earned your grace. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. All of my friends, my Muslim brothers and sisters who are listening to this channel, this translation is done by Maulana Abdul Rashid from Swat. Basically, I am from Peshawar, but now I am living in Swat city, Mingawara in KPK, and I am a teacher, English teacher in a college, in a private college. And by the blessing of Allah the Almighty, I have completed my knowledge course and master in Arabic language and master in Islamic studies from Malakand University. So all of my friends are requested to subscribe and share this channel with your relatives and your friend. Wa akhiru dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.